Hello, everyone. How are you out there today? Thank you so much for joining us. I believe we have Keisha behind the badge today, but she can confirm that for me. We are so excited for the second interview for The Secret Garden, and we have the amazing Carissa Wiley. Welcome, Carissa.
Thank you. I was caught off guard because I thought I might be backstage. So when the music went off, I was taking a drink of my coffee and I was like, oh, it's me. I'm here. Hi.
I've got tea, so we have a similar thought. It's one of those kinds of days. Hi, Daisy. Welcome. Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
And if you have any questions for Carissa or about the event, please pop those over in the chat. And if I don't answer it immediately because we're in the middle of an answer or something, I will get to all of your questions there. So, Carissa, you have, and it is Keisha. Yay!
Yay.
Hi, Keisha. So you've been with us before. How does it feel to come back?
I am so excited to be back. I love teaching. Number one, I love teaching. It's just, I don't know, it comes out of me. I do it in other parts of my life too. So it's not like something I'm unfamiliar with. I love teaching. Number one, I love Altenew. I have been working with Altenew since like way back in the day. I feel like it's been at least 10 years. I mean, I would need to go back and look at the classroom things that I've done because I've done a holiday one. I've done an inspiration one. So anyway, I've been working with Altenew for a long time. It's always exciting to be here. I love their products, their inks, the blending brushes. I mean, there's so much good stuff. So, and innovation. I love that innovation and that I've seen coming from Altenew as well. So it's exciting to be back.
Well, we're excited to have you back because, we see your name a lot of places. So it's very exciting. And next month is the 10-year anniversary. So maybe you've been there since the go, like the get-go. So,
I feel like maybe. Oh my gosh, someone is here from Barstow. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the thing too.
No worries.
Barstow, California. I know exactly where that's at. I'm a California girl, so.
So what's most exciting when you got the email about coming back, being in another retreat with us? What was most exciting about that to you?
Well, I mean, here's the deal. I love teaching, as I mentioned. I love virtual retreats. I love the connection. And so just the opportunity to connect with different people, because I feel like you see different people in different spaces. And so for me, connecting here, and I love the way that it's set up I love the way the virtual retreats are set up on Zoom, because then you can everybody can either have their camera on or have their camera off. And then you can kind of see what people are doing throughout the class. So I think that is something unique to Altenew. And I love that. I love seeing what Altenew is going to come up with for us to all work with as designers. And then of course, it's always versatile. So it's not like something that I feel like even in the holiday one that we did last year, I was a part of that. It was stuff that you could use for holiday, but stuff you could use year round too. And so when you get a kit like this and it has all that versatility, it's exciting to see what's going to come out from people.
Yeah. And I mean, you talked about versatility, seeing what the participants make
Mm-hmm.
by the inspiration that the teachers give by the projects and where they go is so phenomenal. And I mean, the ideas, I don't know about you, but when I look through that Facebook group, I'm like, I never would have thought of that. That's genius.
It
Like the
totally is.
way they see it, you know?
Do you ever, this might be just me, but sometimes I'm like really like, I don't want to call it jealous, but I'm a little bit mad sometimes that I didn't think of that. Like, it's always like, why didn't I think of that? That was such a good idea.
And
So
I do, because I look at it, I'm like, how did I not come up? Like, this is brilliant,
I know,
brilliant, you know?
I
And
know,
you're kind of like, wah, wah, wah.
I
My
know.
crafty brain is sleeping today.
Like, good for you, person. I'm so happy that you did that. I wish I would have done it, but I didn't. So,
But the great thing is we can be inspired by the genius, and then we take that forward with us and make something,
right. And I
that we are
think it's kind of like this, like, never ending cycle. It's kind of like instructors inspire, and then the students are inspired by the instructors, and then they take and do something amazing, and we're like, why didn't we think of that? And then the instructors see that, and then they carry that forward, and they're inspired to do something different the next time. And so it really is just such an important part of our community that we're inspiring each other in different ways all the time, like whether it's a color combo or a technique or using a product in a different way that we hadn't thought of before. That is, like, I would say, half of the value of all of these retreats. Forget the product,
yeah.
forget that, but in a crafting community, to be connected with other people is so important. I mean, we do it on Instagram, we do it on YouTube, we do it, through retreats. So there's multiple ways to do it, but that is an invaluable part of being a part of a community wherever that's at. So,
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. That's why I liked the retreats in the beginning, was I got to be part of, it's almost like being in on a secret. You know, you're in this group together and you experience something together as that group. And it's such a vibe, and it's such something you take with you. So yeah, forget the PDFs, forget the amazing products,
yeah,
forget
because
all
you're getting all
that.
that too. Yeah.
Because you get it, but you get something that you can't put a price on, and it's this camaraderie. And I mean, how many other times can you have 400 crafters over to your craft room? I mean, really.
Well, they ain't going to fit in this space. I know it looks like it's probably large, but you get a couple other people in here and it's about all I can handle. So,
And so, like Carissa mentioned, these are virtual. And so today we have Garden Carissa for a special discount for all of our amazing viewers of this interview. So make sure you use that, because at Altenew, we love to help you save money. And the retreat, it's going to be 12 hours, my dear friends, on May 4th. Starts at 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. There is a lunch break in there. Each class is about 90 minutes. Sometimes the instructors really, really have either another idea or they're really focused on something and it goes a couple minutes over, but we like that because we get more. So we love more. And these are all recorded, but they are live. So you get to come and say you have a burning question for Carissa about her favorite way to add glitter to a card. You can come ask that question and she can answer it. And you get a connection with the instructors as well that you don't get, like Carissa mentioned, through Instagram, through Facebook, through YouTube. You don't get that personal interaction with these 6 amazing instructors.
yeah. And I think that on that note, you can choose to craft along on the day of the event,
Mhm.
or you can watch them back later
Yeah.
and do it then. So you can either enjoy, like, just watching and consuming and connecting,
Yeah.
or you can craft along, or you can do a little of both. So it's kind of like it's like a buffet. You can choose what you want to do, and there's no pressure to finish a project that day because you can go back to it. But I really encourage people to create along if they can, but also enjoy the live interaction that's taking place, enjoy the connection that's taking place, because that's an important part of this. And the project will be there for you after 9 p.m. And if you are crazy and you want to stay up till 3 a.m. and finish all your projects, you can do that. Or you can do it the next day, which is what I would do.
Yeah. And we do have a lot of crafters that do that. You know, they craft along, and if for some reason they don't finish a particular card, they set it aside, and that's a Sunday thing. They go back and add the finishing touch, or if there was a mechanism they didn't really kind of get during class, they take their time. And we have a lot that do. They come to chat, and it's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that they do. We have some, like you mentioned, that will put their video on. We see their beautiful faces, or some even show us the workspace. So you can see the workspace of other crafters while you're crafting along with, say, Carissa in
Yep.
her class. So it's hard to explain the vibe unless you've been to one. It's one of those things I have always had a hard time explaining. So
Do you guys have a lot of people that keep coming back? Because I can imagine that once you've been to one, you're like, oh, I can't miss this. I feel like that would be how I would feel if I was on the other end. Like, I feel when I'm not a part of things like that, I see other people doing online, like virtual events and stuff. I'm like, oh, why am I not why am I not there? And it's usually because I've had to work or something, like my nurse job. So it's like, doggone it.
you had to adult that day.
Yes, yes. Well, this is very much adulting here also.
Yes.
I know that it looks like rainbows and glitters and unicorn, but it's very much adulting over here.
That's the kind of adulting we want, though. We want
Yes,
the rainbow, the
sure.
glitter. Yeah, we want all that. Bring that all on.
For
Now,
sure.
what did you love when you saw the kit, like, as a whole? What did you love about the kit?
I think that the best part about this kit is that the versatility of it, in that it can be used for so many different occasions and so many different ways, so many different techniques. So it's not something that you're going to use one time and be done with it. It's going to be one of those things that you're going to keep coming back to. And that's where Altenew really does pack a ton of value into the kits for these virtual events, is the versatility. And I think I touched on it for the holiday workshop that we did, but same thing in this one. I love that Altenew includes tools in their kits, because it's like, that's some of the best like stuff, right? Because it's like you're going to go back to that over and over again. A tool to have it in your kit is priceless. And so maybe it's not something you would have normally thought to pick up, but it's like, it's there, you have everything you need, and I love that. So
And I agree, because there are some things we all stock the website. So there may be something that you've been really eyeing and you're like, just don't know. And then it comes in a kit and you get to try it. And I think that's great, because it may not, and some stuff in the kit may not be something you would have normally purchased. Then you get it and you're like, oh, love, I'm in love. And you wouldn't have had that without that kit. So
I honestly, I look at the price of the kit, and I look at the products included, including tools and inks and all that. And I'm always blown away that you guys can make that happen at that price, because there's a lot of stuff in there.
And then the PDFs too. I mean, those
Right.
are stunning. I mean, they are so gorgeous. And the great thing is something you get to keep these forever. These will always, so 25 years from now, Carissa could go back and take her class if she wanted to go back and
That would be a time trip.
do that. I know. I wonder. I think of that sometimes. I'm like, when I'm 70, am I going to go back and see what I did when I was like in my, early 40s?
Do you wonder, how is this whole online thing going to age?
Yeah.
What are our grandkids going to think of us? Like, my grandma, I'm super close to being a grandma. I'm not that many years off from it.
Yep.
And I think it was kind of always a little weird for my kids, even. They'd be like, what does your mom do? And it was like, she's a nurse. And then it'd be like, but also she does this YouTube thing. And then, it's getting popular at that time. And it's like, what do you mean? And so I'm wondering how our grandkids are going to see this all. Be like, my grandma's a crafter on the internet. Weird.
They're going to think you're the coolest grandma on the scene, I think.
I hope so.
I mean,
it is weird. Have you ever tried to explain it to somebody, this part of my life? I often don't explain it to a lot of people, because it's weird to explain. It's like, I don't know how to tell you what I do.
So I
So
ran into this, and the amazing Christina Warner had a fabulous answer, because I would say I work with stamps, and they thought I collected postage stamps. So that
right.
started a whole new conversation, which I know nothing about. And but she said I'm an online art teacher. And
Oh,
she said, if they press me, I'll go into more. She goes, but usually that's enough that, so yes, Christina Warner can help you as well with, you can say you're an online art teacher,
that's
and
perfect.
there you go. Cause it's, yeah, my son, when somebody asked, he goes, well, my mom's famous in her own little world. And I'm like, what? Like, it make me sound crazy. So yeah, it's having your children explain what you do when I don't even know if he really understands what I do.
Yeah.
So
I was at work at my nurse job the other day, and they said something, and I said, "Oh, well, I have a business outside of work, outside of this too, so I have to do something for that." And they're like, "Oh, what's your business?" And then I try to explain it to them, and then they were like, "Oh, well, what's your Instagram?" And so, like, I told him my Instagram, and then the girl pulls it up at the desk, and she's a younger girl. She's like in her early 20s. So she pulls up my Instagram profile and she sees like followers, and she was like, "Oh, oh, oh." She's like, "You're like famous." And I don't feel like I'm like super famous. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm like, "No, I'm just me." Like,
yeah,
it's just like, it's a craft thing. But she was like, it was really funny to watch her reaction for that. So online art teacher. I'm gonna
yes.
I'm gonna do that from now
I
on.
I assumed when you said she asked for your Instagram, she was younger, because
Yeah. Like,
someone
what's
my
your
mother's age would
Instagram?
never do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. It's like this bizarre, like, it's kind of like almost like I live two lives sometimes. Cause
Yeah,
it's like I'm so compartmentalized when I'm doing the nurse thing. It's all about that all day.
yeah,
But then when I'm doing this, it's all about this all day.
yeah.
I'd much rather do this, by the way.
Well, Melissa's saying she agrees you're famous. I agree you're famous too,
Well, thank you.
because
I
I
appreciate.
you're even like Prince. You say Carissa, everybody knows. Like, you don't even need a last name. It's just
Well,
Carissa.
that's just because my name is unique, I think. Like, there's not a lot, even like in my followers or like people online who interact with me, I don't see a lot of Carissas.
Yeah.
And then, so I think that's part of it.
Well, I I I want to agree, but I think it's because you're fabulous. So
Well, thank you. Thank you. I like, honestly, I'm just honored that people like can take what I'm teaching and feel inspired, because that's like really my goal. My goal is to really just take every project and be like, these are the baby steps that you need to get there. Because it's like, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. And I think sometimes we look at these beautiful, intricate projects and we think that's so unattainable for me. But really, when you start just breaking it down to step by step by step, people walk away going, "Ah, I totally can do that," because they're not looking at it as a whole. It's like, first, I just need to stamp. That's all I need to do.
yeah,
Step completed. Check. It's like a checklist. If you're like a checklist person,
yeah.
you're all about that life. It's just like one little step at a time. And I think when I teach, I really do aim to make it like, here's step one, here's step two. We're not going to worry about step 5, 6, and 7 until we're there. We just need to worry about one little step at a time. So
And I'm going to answer Melissa. There is, if you go to the website, Keisha's posted the link there. If you click on that link there, you can go, there's a photo of everything. So you can like make it big and look at everything, which I've done. And that ask me how I know. And there's also a list of everything you get, including like the PDFs and all the extras. So head on over to the Altenew store and you can read the listing, and it will give you all the information that's in there. But I think that's great how you broke it. I always say one bite at a time to eat the cannoli. But I think that's what's
it
great
works.
about these virtual workshops as well, is that you are breaking it down. You are showing step by step, and it's unique because we're seeing your step by step. So there's more to the classes than just the finished product. So
Right.
we get to see your process. We get to see how you do things, how you cover errors, how if something pops up, or maybe you change your mind midstream, and I think that's great that we get to kind of be in on your process as well, because the cards are gorgeous in the end, and we get to see how it comes about, so to speak.
It's so funny that you mentioned how you cover errors, because I don't know if you remember this. I had the wrong, and it is my goal to not do this ever, but I had the wrong measurements last year, and I had the wrong measurements. It wasn't just like everybody out there. Then it was like, how are we going to make this card the same exact card with this paper that's the wrong size? And we did it. We did it live. So that was not planned, for those of you who were at that retreat. Not planned at all. I would never do that to myself, and I would never do it to you. But it is kind of one of those things where it was like, I had to think live and on the fly. And I really do think that we came up with a great solution. The card looked almost identical, but we worked through that together.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I will never do that on purpose. It is not my goal to do that. I'm going to measure 15 times and then type my instructions this year, but we did it, and we made it work. So like I said, it would never be my goal to do that, but it is a part of creating live together that you get to see, because then it was like I was talking out loud through this. Okay, this is what we're going to do to make this work. So
yeah. And I think that's a great, you don't, because like in videos, you just see the finished product. You just see, I mean, sometimes, yes, you leave the mistakes in and say, oh, this is how I fixed it, but you don't see the process of fixing the mistake. You
right,
just see
yeah,
fixing it. So it's a great, it's almost, again, another kind of priceless thing you get in these retreats, is that you get to understand the process. Even if everything goes smoothly, you still get to, like you said, step by step, just understand the process of, because we all create differently. It's
yeah.
like some people, they do their die cut, then they stamp. Some stamp and then they die cut. Everybody's a different crafter, so it's wonderful to see as many different styles and types as we can.
Yeah, and I always like I use there are certain tools that I use in a different way than other people, and so I think that it's also great to see that difference, because it makes you, number one, if there's other people who are doing it, you're like, oh, well, I'm not like totally wrong. Like,
Yeah.
they're doing this too. But it's also like, maybe that breaks it down in a way that makes it easier for you. Like, for instance, math. When people think about math, they hate math. I have two mathematicians in my house. My husband has his bachelor's of science in math. My daughter is currently majoring in math at Fresno State. But math can make sense to people if it's explained in a different way. And like, maybe it's like something else for you. Maybe you're just like a never mather. Fine. But my example is just like, sometimes someone is so stuck on explaining it this one way, when if you just explain it a slightly different way, it starts to make sense to you. And crafting's the same way. It's like we all learn differently. And so learning from different people through different processes is such an important part. I think it's important that we watch different people
Yeah,
all the time.
absolutely.
Like,
Because you
I'm
never,
just as much of a consumer as anybody out there. Like,
Mhm.
I watch all the videos, all the videos.
Ask my mailman. No.
I know, right? So this is something that I've learned, and I don't know if it's maybe just we have YouTube Premium at our house. We pay for the subscription because it gives you no ads and all this. But I don't know if this is just a YouTube Premium thing, but I've learned that you can now watch videos in 2 times speed. Well, you can pick your speed. So
Oh,
like
yes.
1.252,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can go back and watch all of these lives that people have done, because the lives tend to be a little bit longer. I can
Yeah.
watch them in half the time. And you have to listen, because they're like, probably like I'm talking normally right now. That's probably how they're talking in their 2 times speed. But it's kind of fun, because I'm like, oh, I can watch this in half the time and still get all the content. So,
You're efficient. We love efficiency.
yes, efficient is important, because I got a lot to do.
So Keisha has a question.
I see that.
What is your most common mistake you do in card projects?
Um, that is a good question. Well, clearly measurements are an issue for me. Um,
But
but
maybe not anymore.
maybe not
Maybe that's
anymore.
a thing of the past, maybe.
I think this is like sometimes I just get like a little trim happy. Like I'm ready to lop something off and maybe I shouldn't have, or maybe I cut it a little more than I should. And then that's generally like the kind of stuff that I tend to do more than any other thing. And so I either have to go back and restamp and die cut or something because I've trimmed the die cut too much. Um, I would say that's probably the one thing that I do the most. I mean, there's always like the little ink blobs and stuff, but honestly, I was thinking about it the other day and I feel like I'm doing so much more die cutting than stamping right now. And I'm like, I've got to physically like almost like, okay, I need to stamp on this card and not just a
Yeah.
sentiment. I need to like stamp.
Yeah. That
So,
doesn't count. The sentiment doesn't count almost, it's so quick and simple.
yes.
See, mine's ink. I get ink, like, I don't realize I have obsidian, like, on my hand, and I touch the white card base, and then I've got, like, a smear of obsidian. So, yeah, that would be mine. So, yes,
Okay.
in the chat, you guys, this is practice for the retreat. In the chat, you guys put your most common mistake in your card making. We'd love to know.
I was just thinking, I was working on some projects last month and I was sent this little, it probably won't focus on
The
this.
stamp conditioning eraser,
Is
yes.
that okay? I didn't know it was for stamp conditioning. You guys sent it to me and I pulled it out of the package. And this removed hybrid ink from my project like so easy. And I didn't even know I needed this. And then
It
I just had it in there. And honestly, I didn't even know it was a stamp conditioning eraser because that's not what I used it for at all. 100% no.
We have bigger
Um,
ones now.
that
Yeah.
one's fancy.
Yes, it's white on the back, so for, like, those big stamps, and it's a package of 3, so just to let you know, they are out there and they're bigger. I've done them to remove ink sometimes too. It's worked for me. I've gotten, like, lucky,
I know.
throw it all
These
up.
are like soft though. They're
Yes.
like softer than at like your standard eraser. So I think I don't know, there was something it didn't like mar the surface of my cardstock. So
Yep,
it was great.
yep,
Okay, Peggy says she often glues her card front upside down.
yep.
I have done that more times in the last 3 months than I've ever done in my entire
Yes,
life.
yes. Now
Yes.
I'm like, I fold it, like, a few times to make sure because I keep
No.
doing it. It's horrible.
I did it the other day again, and I was like, undercutting with my scissors to try to get it, to where I could then re-adhere it to another card base. But
Yeah.
I do that a lot, Peggy. So don't feel bad. But like honestly, it didn't used to even be a thing for me, but in the last like 3 months, I've done it so much.
I seem to go through things like that in, like, cycles. Like, I'll glue
Mm,
them upside down for so long, and then I don't, and then,
yeah,
like, it comes back out of nowhere. Yeah, the card Jen, there's a good tip for that. You can put your card down. So, let's imagine this is a card. Put it down flat, and then put your other one flat up against it, and then you can line them up and put it down. But if you have them flat, like, let's pretend my embossing folder is my desk. So you
right.
can
I
layer
like
them
to do that
together.
too.
Yeah, when they're flat. So,
And
yes.
then also the corner of your stamp wheel.
Yes, that
If
works.
they're the same size. But the thing is, if you're matting it onto the card base, that's just kind of one of those things that where you kind of have to like get over it and look at it. So,
Yeah, that's an eyeball it, but make sure you get right over it. Don't do it sitting down because if you
right.
do it sitting down, your view is skewed. You're right up over on that.
So
You have
do you,
bird's eye view on that.
yeah, do you stand when you craft or are you a sitter?
I personally, I'm a stander. I just because
Okay.
I
I
want to see
stand as well.
everything. I don't want to miss anything.
Right. But sometimes even standing, like I don't get a good like thing. So I will take, I'm trying not to like spoil any surprises over everything around me is like all stuff I cannot show. Um Um, but I will often take it and just hold it out away from me, like get it
Yes.
away from my face too, because that kind of helps. So not only being directly over it, but getting it away from your face. So a lot of times in my videos, I've noticed I'll put something down and then you'll see me in the video kind of like from the overhead shot, like holding it kind of out like this, like you can see that I'm holding it away from me, that helps me get it kind of where I need to do it. Drop the stamp pad in the center of the card. I've done it.
Yeah.
That's devastating.
I'm a frequent offender on that one too. You know what, Peggy? I just cut a lot of sentiments and I have like 3. When you see a card with 3 sentiments, the ink pad fell.
Or you get like the whole, like, just do an enamel dot or a sequin or a something sparkly to just pull the eye away.
And we have to have sparkly, correct? I mean, I think it's a law, right,
It
Carissa?
is a law.
Sparkly. It is
It's
law. I thought so.
actually a new California state law. Just kidding.
We can make it an Altenew law. You have to have shiny.
Yes. You know what? And here's the deal. Here's the deal about shiny, because I know immediately when you say shiny or sparkly, people immediately think of glitter and then they immediately are like, hard no.
Yeah.
Number one, there's so many good glitter products now that don't have to have the mess. So that whole like fine glitter, like sprinkled all over your room, not a thing anymore. But sparkle and shine come in a lot of different ways, different card stocks, metallic card stocks. Altenew has some great ones of those. But even just like a glossy drop or something that just kind of catches the light is magic on a card. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like even like embossing powder.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these are ways to add sparkle and shine.
Yeah.
And just add that little touch. It doesn't have to be glitter. You don't have to get it on your hands and be all like, ew. But like I said, the glitter products are getting better and better all the time in the crafting industry. And that's one probably like advancement I've seen in that, is that it's really making great strides.
More friendly glitter, which is good.
Yes, I love it.
Because how long? So you're telling your crafty age a little bit, but how long has Carissa been making things shiny and glittery?
You know what? I don't even know if I know the answer to this. So I've been a nurse this year. It will have been 13 years. And I've been doing it longer than that. So I've been sharing online for probably 15 years. And then I did it before that. I mean, honestly, it started as I was a kid. My mom, I've told this story so many times, but she brought home like a stamp. I bet you money it was a Hero Art stamp. And she brought home embossing powder. And I remember embossing over our electric stove when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. We were making Christmas tags and we had gold embossing powder, and we would stamp it and put the powder on and hold it over. Do not try this at home.
I was going to say, disclaimer, do not do this.
Don't purchase this in your toaster oven or anything like that. But that's what we had, and that's what we did. And we made Christmas tags with embossing powder over our electric stove. So
great memory though. That's amazing. And I think a lot of folks that are crafters now, there are some that as adults started crafting, but a lot, we started as kids in some way, shape or form. And it stuck with us through all those years. And just, it's a wonderful thing. And it's wonderful we have the Zoom community because of events like this. We have that camaraderie where you see the same people. We do have some you mentioned before that come back, and we have some that are like, I've never missed a retreat, and they're so proud and so excited, to be at all the events and have the fun. But it's the community that, and it's there for a lot of things, whether you have successes or failures, the community is always there. And so supportive. We have such an amazing community that is so unique and so supportive of everybody, which is wonderful.
I love that. I know that like virtual events have been like, I love that virtual events make everything so accessible for everyone too, because you don't have like the fees and stuff. But like, I have a dream of like some in-person events. Like I want to have my own craft house, like where you can go for like a retreat with your friends and just craft for the weekend. I live in the cutest little town, and it would be like the perfect place for that. And I'm like, I want to do that too. Like I want to do it all. I want to do it all.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
So many dreams and so little time. Like my time on this earth is so limited. And I just like, I'm a dreamer. I think that's what, like, it's part of who I am. Um, Sometimes my dreams are way bigger than my budget. So
I'm familiar with that theory. It's I got the dream. I just need to I need a backer.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, listen, I need an investor. I've got this great idea. I just need a house and some money to decorate it. So
All
anyway,
the crafty things.
yes, yeah, yeah. Just
Oh,
duplicate
Peggy said
this.
she'd come. She's ready. Peggy's ready to book her night at the crafty house.
All right, Peggy. Well, when that comes to be, I got to get a couple kids through college first. When that comes to be, you will be the first to know.
And
So
Melissa too. Melissa's ready to come.
I love it. Well, Jen Dykstra said she was goes to all the things I teach too. So Jen, do I have you in? I have 3 participants.
I'll be there. I'm there.
4.
Wherever you do the house, I'm there. Let's go. It
Let's
would
do
be
it.
I don't think we'd sleep, but we would have fun.
We would have the best time. We would laugh. We would eat
Yes.
junk food and we would craft and we would just, it would be amazing. Bags are
Well,
packed. Good.
Peggy's ready. She's already packed.
Yes. But no, but seriously, I do think that the virtual events, like, they are here to stay
Yeah.
because it makes it so accessible for so many people. And you could never do an in-person event for the price and for the value that you're getting with
Yeah.
all of these instructors. You're getting 6 instructors in this event, good instructors. And that's not tooting my own horn. I'm just looking at the other people. And we're not going to go down that road. But anyway,
We'll toot for you.
yeah, I know.
We'll
I
honk
know.
the horn for
Don't
you.
toot my horn. That's not what this is about. But you're getting 6 instructors and all of that. And just, I think there's no way you could do that in an in-person event.
No. And
Just
to
no
try to
way.
just get the 6 instructors together in one place at one time in person, that
Seriously.
would be the struggle bus, I think, because everybody is so busy and families and lives. And so, yeah, this makes a very unique opportunity to interact with the folks you watch on YouTube and that you make cards and you see them make it, you want to make a card like them. So this is a very unique opportunity to get to
Yeah.
make that card with them. So it's exciting.
Do you feel like it kind of personalize? I'm like, what I hope is when you go away from a retreat with me, whether it's in person or virtual, that you just feel like I remember when I met like Jennifer for the first time or Laura for the first time, and I was so starstruck. But then, like, you get to know them and you're like, they're just a person just like me. And they're,
Yeah.
I really hope it like personalizes me for the guests. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just me and I'm goofy at times and I'm like a lot sometimes, like I'm just a lot of energy sometimes or whatever, but like I'm just like a girl who loves to craft just like you.
Yeah.
So like I'm not, it's just, I just hope that people feel that personal connection at these events too, because that's important to me. Like I would never want it to be like someone would be nervous to talk to me or something like that, because I really am just me, and I try to just be me. That's all I aim for. So I hope that that's a thing too.
Oh, Jody was saying she used to have friends that would organize weekend retreats at a Verbo. Food and house are included in the price. So much fun. Did them from Lake Tahoe. There you go.
She's up by Lake Tahoe. We used to visit there at least twice a year. So
We may see one of your dreams become a reality. How cool would that be?
I would love that. I would love that.
Now, when you get a virtual kit,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to kind of put your own classic style on it, or do you ever push yourself out of the box and say, I'm doing something not Carissa on this project?
Well, I've done things kind of both ways before. And honestly, I did a retreat one time where I was like, I'm totally not going to do what I would normally do with this. Like, I look at it and I go, ooh. And then but I'm not going to do that. And then people were like sad that I didn't do like my normal style. So I kind of war with that a little bit, because it's like, it's very easy. I think when you find your style and you settle into it, it's very easy to do your style. Like like there's always something that points to kind of your signature or what you would normally do. And I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing, but sometimes we as crafters are like, well, I always use pink, or I always do a mint color, or I always have this element. I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I also think that it's important that we push ourselves outside of that. And so oftentimes the way that I will do that is start with one thing that makes me comfortable. So whether that's a color or a technique or whatever, and then I will pair it with something that I'm not necessarily comfortable with, whether it's another technique or a layout, or I don't necessarily always use this color with this color or something like that. And that helps you kind of stay comfortable with what you're doing without it feeling completely foreign. Does that make sense?
And I love the pairing. I love that idea of the pairing. You have something you're good, like that's where you're at. And then you have something maybe you're trying to work on. So say it's watercolor, you throw some
Mhm.
watercolor in there. I love that you pair them together. So you have that comfort of your happy place, your standby, you're confident in. And then you have that one you're kind of working on. So they help
Right.
each other and help you feel more comfortable, which I think is great.
Well, and I think then you don't feel so out of your box that you're just like, I can't finish this
Yeah.
because it feel like the whole thing feels foreign. That's not necessarily like a good way to approach it. I think like stay have one thing that you're comfortable with. And it could be anything. It could be really anything. Even when I'm building palettes, I'll go like, okay, I want to build a palette with orange, which is maybe not necessarily a color I would always pick or gravitate towards. But when I compare it with something that I am comfortable with, then I'm like, I feel like it flows a little easier. I feel a little more comfortable. And then the next time I can go and I can start with that, say, orange color that time because I've developed a comfort with it, and then move from there into something that's a little bit different. So I'm comfortable now with the orange or the watercolor or this technique or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then so once I've gotten comfortable with that, then I can pair it with something else. And then that's where it starts to develop into something that's totally new without it
Love.
feeling like,
Yeah.
ah, you know,
Yeah, I love that pairing. That's a great idea. Pick that one color you can't get rid of, you can't take out of your hand, and what else are you gonna put it with?
yeah.
That is
Then
great.
put it with something different.
And what would you say to say we have somebody that's never been to a retreat before and they're like, I don't know, I'm a little scared. I don't know if I'll know the techniques. I don't know if I know how to use the supplies. What would your advice be to somebody that's looking and a little nervous about joining?
I would say that retreats are like great for all levels. Like you're going to learn something whether you're a beginner or an advanced crafter. I feel like without a doubt, like people are always like, I learned so much. But really, that's what we're here for in the retreat is to take it a step back. We're not doing a 5 or a 10-minute YouTube video and trying to get through something super fast. But we're breaking it down step by step and we're walking you through it. There's no pressure to keep up because you can always go back and watch it time and time again. But really, all of the instructors are here to teach you, not just like quickly show you. You're going to see everything real time, real live. So if you're having questions as you go along, you can ask those questions. So I think it's really a great place for you to find, the education, the instruction, and the connection with other people because you're going to see other people who are, you don't necessarily know, but then you're going to find inspiration from them too. So
Yeah.
I
And
just, I think they're good for everybody. They're good for the soul.
yes. Yes. And the thing is you go to one and then you go next time and you recognize people. You
Mhm.
recognize chatting with them in the chat or you saw their face in the video. And so it's the first time I remember it was like wide-eyed, like, whoa, this is so cool. But then the next time it's like, oh, look, there's Susie and oh, Billy's over there. And
Yeah. And I think just stay in the know on how you're going to find the classes and that sort of
yeah,
thing. Just the prep time that I would do the homework ahead of time if
yeah,
there's homework. And then I would also just stay tuned into like, okay, the instructions. A lot of times we get instructions and we're like, oh, I'll read that later. And then the morning of, we're panicking because we're like, where's those instructions on how to find the class? So I would stay tuned into like the instructions on how you're going to access everything.
Yep.
Get your homework done, and you'll be golden on the day of the retreat. I think that those two things are like, even I, as an instructor, sometimes I'm panicking on the morning of because I've put the instructions aside and it's telling me how I'm going to get on to whatever I need to get on to teach. And I'm like, I disregarded those when they sent them because I was like, I don't need those right now, but just read through them and just know how you're going to get to where you need to go on that day. And then I think you're good. I really do. And it's, if you're someone who doesn't love to socialize, I think this is a great icebreaker because you can choose whether you want your camera on or off. You can choose how much you participate in the chat. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, it's a good little like dip your toe in kind of thing.
Yeah. That's really good advice. And Lori, so typically, I'm thinking back because I've been to all of them. So typically, you see about 2 cards from the instructors for each class. Now, if it's a really involved card where there's like mechanisms and coloring, there may be 1 card. But if that's the case, it's a very involved card. But generally, you will see 2 cards per class.
Yeah.
So, and like Carissa said, we post the Zoom links in Facebook. They're an Altenew Academy. We send emails. So they are everywhere. Just make sure to always check your emails and check your spam, because sometimes Google is wild. It's like it's dealing cards and it just throws emails into spam.
So, but then you, like you said, they're also really concisely all linked right there in your Altenew Academy as well. So if you panic on the day of and you can't find the email, because we've all done that.
Yes.
Yours included. Then you can go to your Altenew Academy and it's all right there. It's all spelled out for you so you can find what you need to find on the day of. So.
And so, well, because we'll wrap up, but so Carissa, new colors. What is your favorite color out of the new colors in the kit?
I have 3, but am I allowed to show them all?
Yes, because they're on the website.
Okay.
I'm curious if they'll be similar to Kelly's. Kelly showed 3 yesterday, so I'm curious if they'll be similar or different.
This color combo right here is going to be just a win right here.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So this is lemonade stand. It looks like I haven't even opened them out of their package yet, but I can tell by the labels, and I can't get my thing to focus. So blush rose and teal tempest. This 3 color combination here, gorgeous. Birthday card, floral, because you have your pink and your yellows for kind of some florals. And this teal tempest would make a great color for some leaves. Think outside of the box here. Some leaves. I love this, but this right here, just magic.
So we might be seeing something that's going to be on a card. I mean, this may be a hint to something. I'm guessing it's a hint.
You know what? Like I said, they're sealed up still, and I haven't even gotten a chance to play with them yet. I haven't had them in my hot little hands for that long. There's another really interesting color in this kit that I'm excited to see how it plays with the others. So,
which one's that? Which one's you're excited to introduce to your?
Okay, rhodolite. Is that how you say it?
Oh yeah, yeah. This
maroon,
color
earthy.
It actually exists in the crisp dye inks, but it's new as a fresh dye ink, which I am so excited for this color to be a fresh dye ink. I'm ready. It's so gorgeous. It works with so many of our existing colors. It's awesome.
I love the fresh dye inks. They're really good. They're really good. I love them, and I love the design of them. They feel really good in your hands. Yeah. They feel really good in your hands. So that's great.
And as someone who drops them often, I'm glad the covers don't come off.
Can we just talk about this piece of hair that's driving me nuts this entire live? My hair also yesterday, I thought we were going live and I was all ready to go. You may have seen it on my Instagram stories. I was having a better hair day yesterday. So
Well, it looks beautiful today. I know it's driving you crazy, but
it is this
it looks
little like,
beautiful today.
yeah. So anyway, there we
And
go.
what else? Because I know you don't have everything in front of you right now, but what else out of the kit just like stole your heart?
I think that this is going to be just a beautiful staple. Let's see if I can get it to focus.
The leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
staple. It's going to make either a great focal image or a great textural background image.
Yeah.
Also, like I see this and I see easy masculine card coming right up.
Yeah.
The leaves and the foliage always to me I think of just a serene kind of feel. So I think they also make these are cards we don't like to make and we don't like to talk about, but like a sympathy card, this would be really beautiful in some soft colors on a sympathy card with just a simple greeting. And stencils are fabulous. I think we did this. I think I did this in the holiday class. We embossed
Yeah.
with a stencil. So you can actually emboss with a stencil too. So they really are versatile and you can use them with pastes and gels and inks. And so you can get a lot of different looks. So I think that's going to be a fun one to play with.
I'm so glad you picked that. Leaves are my favorite. I'm a leaf girl, like a
Yeah.
sentiment and a leaf girl. The flowers are beautiful, but like they're always the bride, you know? I want the
Yeah.
bridesmaids. Give me the
Yeah.
leaves. Give me the
Yeah, that's totally true. And you know what? I also think a good leaf or foliage die cut is like magic because they like you cut them out of vellum and they almost take up no visual space, but they give so much texture and like an ethereal look to them that I really love to use like a good foliage die too. So
Yeah.
if that's something you don't have in your stash, you need that.
Come
You need
join us and you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some leaves. Thank you so much for joining us today, Carissa. It's always so fun to have a chat and catch up with stories and just having a chat. It's always
Love it.
wonderful to have you join us.
Thank you for having me. And I'm really looking forward to this retreat. I think everybody's going to walk away feeling like they've learned something new, that they have beautiful projects that they've completed. And they're going to, like my goal is to make you feel empowered. So, however I can do that, make sure you're asking the questions, make sure you're putting it out there because I want to make sure that you walk away with your questions answered. That is goal number one.
And the good thing is, I know some folks don't use Facebook, but we do have a Facebook group as well. So if you're making the project after and something's not working out for you, you can say, Carissa, help.
Yes.
What did I
Yes.
do? Where did I go?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And make sure that you tag me in that so that I can see it if that is something, or if you even have questions on the homework.
Yeah.
That
Awesome.
tag me so I see it.
Yep. And that's the thing. If you don't tag her, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
exist. So
But you guys are also good about like helping people tag people in the
yeah.
comments. I've noticed that too. So you guys keep a good eye on that. And if like somebody forgets to tag, you'll
Yeah.
like tag me in the comments. So that helps as well.
And in the group, I mean, everybody helps each other. It's just it's just this community is phenomenal and so
They
grateful to be part of it.
They
So
are. I'm grateful to be a part of it, a small part of it as well. So thank you for having me.
well, we're so excited to see you on May 4th to create projects with you and just have a few chuckles and laughs and just have a wonderful day. So we're looking forward to May 4th. And again, thank you for joining us. Thank you to Keisha behind the badge. And thank you to our amazing participants for joining us and participating in the conversation with us today. That always makes it more special. And so, from all of us at Altenew, thank you so much for allowing us to help you craft your life. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time with the amazing JC Gaspar. So tune in, not turn in. That's, I think, going to bed. So tune in tomorrow for another interview with one of our fabulous instructors. And we'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.